Wolfpack All Access, we'll sit down with the Nevada Athletic Director Doug Knuth and talk state of the department and the future of Nevada facilities. Plus, head coach Brian Polian goes hunting for new talent. We'll chat with the coach about recruiting. And we head to Lawlor Event Center for a preview of the Wolfpack men's basketball team. That and much more now on Wolfpack All Access, brought to you by Champion Chevrolet.
Welcome to Wolfpack All Access, brought to you by Champion Chevrolet here at Lawlor Event Center on the basketball court floor. We are in the middle of a bye week, so Athletic Director Doug Knuth joining us this week. Welcome, and how are things up on campus up near your office?
You know what? It's been amazing. It's been exciting 5.5, almost 6 months now since arriving here in Reno, and it's been fantastic. It feels good to be in the basketball arena.
Yeah.
I mean, basketball season right around the corner, and you see some snow up in the hills the other morning, and it's that time of year. Football's going, mid-season, volleyball, soccer, cross country, and now we're talking basketball as well. So it's a fun time of the year.
Absolutely exciting time, very busy time. Okay, the president gets his State of the Union address, the governor gets State of the State, you get State of the Athletic Department, and I know you're getting ready to prepare something for your 6-month tenure here. Where are we at right now, and where would you say the state of this athletic department is?
Yeah, that's right. You just gave away my secret. I'm preparing. I'm about 2 weeks away from my 6-month or my half-year anniversary, I guess you call it. And just want to prepare some stuff for our friends, for our donors and our supporters, to let them know what we've done in the last few months and where we're going, hopefully in the next months and years ahead. But there's a lot on the plate. I mean, there's a lot of work to do here. There's a great foundation. I mean, Coach Alt had this going for years and years, and Brian's taken it and running with it. Carrie Groth did an amazing job here during some really difficult times over the years, and really set the foundation for us to be successful in the future. And my role, as you would expect, and based on my experience and where I've come from, is to elevate our department to be competitive in the Mountain West Conference, and we've got to do that. I talk constantly to people in the community, and I say we're the 11th largest budget in our conference, and you get a few snickers in the crowd, and the snickers are coming from the few people in the conference that are in the room that know that we're an 11-team conference.
Yeah.
And so I don't like to say we're last, but we're the 11th largest budget in our conference, and we've got to figure out a way to grow. There's not one of our student athletes, there's not one of our coaches, not one of our administrators, president, alumni, fans, boosters, community members, there's not one of us that wants us to be 11th. We all want to win, we want to be champions, and that's my goal. We've got to elevate our department, we've got to raise revenues to give our coaches the resources they need to be champions across the board, whether it's tennis, swimming, soccer, football, basketball, whatever it is. That's the major challenge, and that's what we're going to roll out, and that's what we're going to focus on over the next few years.
When you did take over as athletic director, you've had experience at Michigan State and most previously Utah. When you took over this athletic department and you saw the positives and not necessarily negatives, but things that needed improvement, what stuck out to you?
You know, the thing that stuck out to me, first of all, is tradition. I mean, we win here. Our teams are used to winning, our universities used to winning, our communities used to the Wolfpack winning, and we've got to figure out a way to get back to there. We're in a new conference, a much tougher conference. There's depth throughout the conference. The high-end teams are stronger than we've ever experienced before. And so when I look across the board and I look across our conference, a lot of the schools have facilities that we don't. We had great facilities in the WAC. We had great staffing in the WAC. We had tons of success in the WAC, but we're not in the WAC anymore. And so at the Mountain West Conference now, when you look across the board, the northern schools have indoor practice facilities. The basketball, the strong basketball schools in our conference have basketball practice facilities in addition to a beautiful arena. The soccer team has a soccer pitch. The track has a nice competition track. All these things go into it. So for us to be a strong and proud member of the Mountain West Conference, we've got to upgrade. We've got to upgrade in a lot of areas. And what I'm most excited about is that we have a community that believes that. We have a community that believes that we want to be winners. We want to be champions. And when you walk around town, I mean, you see Wolfpack everywhere. This community really embraces the Wolfpack. We're the hometown team, and that's exciting for me as the athletic director, for me as a new member of our community. It's been fun to see that, and I love the enthusiasm, I love the excitement of our community, and I know there's great things to come, absolutely great things to come.
Athletic Director Doug Knuth with us here on Wolfpack All Access. He's going to stick around for one more segment. We're going to talk football and basketball practice facilities. It's what everybody wants to hear about. That's next on Wolfpack All Access. All Access here on the Lawlor Event Center Court. Athletic Director Doug Knuth sticking with us again. Once again, I really appreciate your time. I know you're a busy man. It's the elephant in the corner, if I can't say anything better about it, but everybody wants to know. Everybody asks me, football practice facility, basketball practice facility. I know there aren't any plans laid out, but how close and how much does this university need something like that?
Yeah, this goes back to our earlier conversation about elevating the athletics program and elevating the university to being a strong member of the Mountain West Conference. And this is something that Coach Alt has talked about for a long time, about having a practice facility. And what I've done is kind of change the dynamic and change the conversation because a football-only practice facility just doesn't fit. It doesn't fit into what we need and what we want to do at this university. But what I talk about and what I'm proposing and what I'm thrilled to have the university and the president's support on is what we're calling a field house. And it's a shared use field house where certainly the athletic teams would have access to be practicing in there, but it would be shared use with our student body as well. So essentially it's a 100-yard indoor football field and potentially with an indoor track around it where certainly football and soccer and baseball and softball and the track teams could all have practice or competition there. Our other sports would use it for speed training and everything else, and it's a huge recruiting asset for us, and that changes the dynamic. That puts us in the mix for top national recruits. But the second part of this, which is the thing that's most exciting for us on campus, is it's a shared use facility, and in the evenings and the weekends, it could be available for student body, for recreation use, intramural sports, club sports, exercise and fitness people, the faculty and staff that want to walk or run during lunch, get some exercise. It provides an indoor, safe, dry, warm place for our community to come exercise. Because a lot of times, especially this time of the year, it gets dark earlier, it gets cold. At some point we're going to have snow and ice covering the sidewalks and roads. And this is going to be a great thing for our community to have an indoor track and a place for our students, our faculty, staff, and certainly our teams to practice and for our track team to compete, have indoor track meets at home. So it's a neat project. It's a partnership with our university and with our student body, and there's some fundraising to be done before it actually happens. So it's in conceptual in nature at this point. But hopefully coming to a university near you, an indoor field house in the next in the near term.
And it becomes a recruiting tool as well, along with the fitness center that's expected to be built right outside this building. That is not a student athlete strictly building, but it's going to be students being able to work out and being able to participate in that, and that becomes a recruiting tool just for the university as well. Yeah,
and that's huge. And when you talk about general recruiting to the university, not athlete recruiting, but general recruiting, when students come on our campus now and they walk around and they see the brand new Knowledge Center, the Matheson Knowledge Center, and they see the Joe Crowley Student Union, and in the near future they're going to see this beautiful, the E.L. Wiegand, the Student Fitness Center, and then down the road we'll have this brand new field house as well. Students come on campus and they get a sense of this is a university that's growing, it's vibrant, there's positive things happening here. We've got these beautiful new buildings. They're talking about new dorms, the new Student Achievement Center. I mean, we are going to become one of the top universities, certainly in the West Coast, but I hope nationally as well, as the University of Nevada becomes a name brand, well-known university. And that's a big deal for recruiting general student body, but also for recruiting student athletes. When they come on campus and they get a sense of this is a university going places, this is the kind of university where I want to be, it's going to help us recruit across the board. So we're excited about the future for sure.
It's been a good first 6 months, Doug.
It's been busy for sure.
Athletic Director Doug Knuth spending some time with us.
Thanks, Brian. Appreciate all you do.
Thank you.
Coming up next on Wolfpack All Access, the Nevada football team may be in the middle of its bye week, but that doesn't mean the coaching staff is taking the time off. We'll talk with head coach Brian Polian about a week of recruiting when Wolfpack All Access, brought to you by Champion Chevrolet, returns.
Welcome back to Wolfpack All Access, brought to you by Champion Chevrolet on the bye week. Coach Polian, kind enough to give us a little time this week. maybe restate what the bye week means for you guys and what you get. You get a lot accomplished.
Yeah, we're actually quite busy for a bye week. We first of all need to get our key guys some rest that have played, specifically on offense, over 200 plays in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
We need to take a long, hard look at ourselves here in terms of self-scout and figure out, what we can do better, what tendencies we're starting to show. And frankly, the other thing we need to do is we need to get back to basics here in fundamental football and blocking and tackling and throwing and catching, and we need to take this opportunity to get better at that. And towards the end of the week, we got to go recruiting. I mean, to waste a bye week and not get out and see prospects, and our coaches will be out on the road, and I will hit some games locally in the area, and I'm looking forward to checking out some local talent and making sure that we're present around the high school programs here.
That was something that a lot of people talked about when you were hired for this position, was being a prolific recruiter. I would imagine it's fun to go out and the competition against other schools, but to get a kid to buy into your program and then come play for you.
Yeah, the recruiting part of it's fun. I'm still, the 25 days we had to put a class together, when I first arrived, there was some transition from, you essentially become the closer as the head coach, as opposed to the guy that was with the young man for, almost a year and a half in the recruiting process. But I think I've grown comfortable with that role, and I'm excited about where this class is headed. I think it will end up being around 22 or 23 prospects deep when it's all said and done. And, like I said, recruiting, it's like shaving. If you don't do it every day, eventually people are going to notice. And, even though we're in the heart of our season right now, recruiting takes a big priority, and we've got to, like I said, over the bye week here, make use of our days.
Of course, because of NCAA rules, you can't comment on any specific players, but personnel-wise, what are you chasing right now?
We have to address issues on the offensive line, and that's one of the places that you might see us take a JUCO or two, a junior college prospect. We have to address the safety position in terms of depth. I would like, we're going to take probably 2, maybe 3 wide receivers with the loss of Wimberly and Huber and some of the veterans that we're going to lose at that position. We're going to take a couple of tight ends. I would like to take at least one that might be a Sudfeld type body, a 6'5" plus, big long target. We have a couple of 6'2" guys now that are decent blockers. We need a real pass receiving threat. We trust me, we know exactly what it is that we're looking for now. It's are we finding quality candidates? Are we finding candidates that can meet the academic standards that this great university is going to set for us? So it's a little different here. It's not just an NCAA qualifier. You got to be more than that. So that shrinks our pool within a shorter distance to campus. So we got to expand our net, and that's what we're doing.
Looking ahead, Boise State coming up. Obviously, a great program, very well coached with Chris Peterson up there. Your thoughts initially heading into next week?
Big challenge. You got to go do it on the road. They are playing better now than they did at the beginning of the season. They're very young on defense, but their guys are starting to click. We're going to have to play well defensively because they are very efficient on offense. The good news is a lot of their new concepts are pistol concepts that we run here, so it shouldn't be too incredibly foreign to our defense. Southwick's a really good player. The quarterback, they've got a very good sophomore running back and some good wideouts. So we've got our work cut out for us, and we are going to use some of the extra time that we've had here to try and get a jump start on them, because we're going to need it.
One last thing, got the unfortunate news, Colby Arenzi going to lose him for the season. Now you're going to need Gibson to step up, or someone to step up and fill the role.
Yeah, we're going to have to, it's next man up. I mean, my heart breaks for Colby. He's a great kid, and he was somebody that had been very productive for us in the first 5.5 games he played, and unfortunately this is a bad break for us. And not only are we going to need guys from the tight end depth to step up, but we may need to get a little bit more creative in the sets that we get into and who we use for what purposes, and that's that's our job. We got to find ways.
Coming up next on Wolfpack All Access, brought to you by Champion Chevrolet, the Nevada men's basketball team has hit the court in preparation for the tip-off of their season. Head coach David Carter will join us after the break to talk Wolfpack hoops. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Wolfpack All Access here on the Lawlor Event Center court. Head coach David Carter, the men's basketball program, joining us right now. And Coach, welcome back, and good to be back at practice.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we're excited. We've been going at it for about a week and a half or so.
It's tough after just maybe 10 days to evaluate what you have, and you've got a ton of new faces. What have you seen that you like so far?
Well, you know, what I like is the hard work. We have a long ways to go. They have a lot to learn. But the good thing about starting early with practice, I'm able to get those guys in a setting of a team setting, and there's a lot to learn, but when you do it as a group, as a team, they learn a lot faster. So I'm pleased with the progress so far.
You went out and picked up some big men in this class. Tell us a little about a couple of these guys.
Kid Chris Brown, we signed him late July, 6'11", 255. You know, he has a presence inside. He's got good hand score around the basket. AJ West, a kid out of Brooklyn, New York, played at Monroe Junior College. He's a shot blocker, rebounder. Offensively, he's got a little ways to go, but you know, we like his defensive presence. We have a big kid by the name of Lucas Strivens out of Pratt Junior College. And Lucas is a skilled big guy, step out, shoot it, plays very hard, not afraid of contact. I think he had a couple of black eyes in the summer because he gets in there and bang. We have a kid by the name of Ronnie Stevens at 6'8". Ronnie's kind of a workhorse guy. We're really pleased with him. His progress is coming along so far too.
Tell me about how tough it is when you have to rebuild like you have. You have to go out and get maybe some JUCO guys, some impact guys immediately. How tough is it to get guys to gel?
Well, the tough part is you have to be very patient, and you have to find the right guys. That was our goal going into last spring, when we were going into the spring, the recruiting, was to make sure don't panic, make sure you get the right guys to fit, make sure you get the guys that's going to fit what we do and what we need.
Deonte Burton comes back for his senior year. How nice is that? He passes on going to the NBA and says, you know what, I want to come back for my senior year. That makes your job a little easier.
Oh, a lot easier, you know. And well, you know, it puts a lot of confidence in our guys. When Deonte decided to come back, I could tell the kids were very pleased with that. You know, that's your leader, all-conference player coming back. So we're very happy to have him back. He's very excited. He's going to graduate in May, and that's a big accomplishment for him.
Just getting a degree as a student athlete
yes.
is very, very special. Another one of your seniors who I think needs to be an impact player is Jerry Evans Jr.
Well, Jerry has to do what he does well: rebound, defend, hit open shots, not try to play outside himself. And Jerry's actually been playing pretty well in practice. He's showing us a lot of leadership in his senior year. So I'm very pleased with his progress. But again, you're right. In terms of impact, his numbers have to go up this year.
You see a lot of transition and progress usually between guys' freshman year and their sophomore year. What do you expect out of Marquise Coleman, one of your young guards?
Marquise, you know, we went to Italy for 10 days. He shot the ball very well, and I thought that was one of his weaknesses last year. As a freshman, everything was to the basket. Now he's able to hit an open 15-footer, shooting a three basket ball a lot better. So I'm going to say for what I like about his game and what he's improved is his shooting.
Mm-hmm. Transfer from UTEP in Michael Perez, who had to sit out last year. I know he's chomping at the bit. How much do you expect out of him? He hasn't played in a while. I know he's practicing with you and went to Italy, but what do you expect out of him?
Well, you know, he has the ability to score. When he was at UTEP as a sophomore, he averaged 10 points. And when you can average double digits at Division I, that's what we anticipate him doing here. We've got to fill the void with Malik leaving, averaging 15, 16 points a game. And I think Mike can come in and give us some of the same points. He's an excellent shooter. He's more athletic than when you anticipate, but his shooting ability, I think, is going to help us a lot this year.
One of the young stars in this recruiting class that I know you like quite a bit is DJ Fenner. Maybe introduce Wolfpack fans to DJ coming out of Seattle. Big recruit coming out of there. Yeah,
6'6", wing guard. He was player of the year in Seattle last year. We were very fortunate to get him early. You know, he's an exciting player. He's very athletic. He's got a lot of energy. Got motor, what we call motor. You know, he's always going 100 miles per hour. And, you know, he's going to be an exciting player to watch, and I think the Wolfpack fans will enjoy him this year.
I know you don't put any stock into preseason polls or anything. You know, a poll just came out, picked you 9th in the conference. Do you use that as artillery or as weapon or as inspiration for yourself, or do you don't care sometimes?
For me, you know, someone's got to be picked first, someone got to pick last, then everybody else is in the middle, right? Mm-hmm. And so, you know, it's based on how you finished last year, what you got coming back. I don't put a lot of stock in it. Last year they had his 4th or 5th, and you know how that turned out. So you still have to play the game, and it's not necessarily motivation. We just have to get better. We have to focus on ourselves and not worry about what people think about us.
Realistic expectations of this team. When you look at what you got on paper, you've seen them on the court a little bit. What are your expectations?
Well, you know, I think for us it's one game at a time. I always say that once you get to conference, obviously you want to improve from last year. You know, you had 3 wins, you want to get to 4, you want to get to 5, and that shows improvement from year to year. And so I just want our expectations just to be able to compete in the Mountain West night in and night out.
Wolfpack men's basketball fans, here's how you can get in on the action at Lawler Event Center this season. There are a pair of mini ticket plans to get you started, either the Mountain West plan or a 5-game plan. The Mountain West plan includes all 9 conference games, while the 5-game plan lets you pick 5 home games on the Nevada schedule. But you have to register before midnight on October 14th to get that offer. Log on to NevadaWolfpack.com or call 775-348-PACK for more information on how to get season tickets. Back to Wolfpack All Access, brought to you by Champion Chevrolet. The Nevada football team is getting ready to head into a hostile environment next weekend to take on the Boise State Broncos up on that blue turf. But this isn't any other conference foe. This is a school that has a rivalry that goes back with Nevada and goes back a long way. It goes back through the Western Athletic Conference, to the Big Sky Conference, even the 1AA days when both programs were really trying to just find their path. So what am I blathering on about? I have 2 words for you: road trip. When the Wolfpack invades the blue turf in Boise next weekend, why not be there to support them? Being on the road with your team is one of the more thrilling experiences that a fan can have in college football. Besides, it's really not a bad drive. Hotels relatively inexpensive, great downtown area as well. So why not pack up the kids or a few good buddies and head north for the weekend? Just make sure you do the speed limit once you cross that Oregon state line. Trust me, they'll be waiting for you. That'll do it for us this week on Wolfpack All Access. We'll see you next weekend, this same time, from the Boise State turf up at Bronco Stadium. See you next week.